Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into another cosmic mystery with me?
Always up for a good deep dive,
Mhm.
especially one that's, well, as out there as this.
Right. This time, we're tackling the wow signal. This thing has puzzled scientists for decades.
Yeah, it really is one for the books, isn't it? A 72-second burst of radio waves just bam, picked up by the Big Ear telescope back in 77, and then poof, gone.
And of course, the big question everyone asks, could it be aliens trying to reach out?
Well, we can't rule that out just yet, so buckle up, folks. We're going to break down the science, the theories, the whole shebang.
All right, so picture it. 1977, Ohio State University. They had this telescope called the Big Ear.
Not your typical telescope, though, right? It wasn't looking for light waves. It was all about radio signals from space.
Exactly. It was scanning the sky using a pretty clever method.
Yeah, like as the Earth rotated, the telescope would sweep across different parts of the sky. So if a signal seemed to move along with the stars, that meant it was coming from way out there, not from Earth.
That makes sense. Clever way to filter out the noise, so to speak.
Absolutely. And then on August 15th, an astronomer named Jerry Ehman, he's looking over the data printouts and
Wait, hold on. I got to set the scene here. I can just imagine him there late at night, probably stacks of paper everywhere.
oh yeah, definitely. And in those days, it was all printed out, no fancy computer screens. So he's sifting through these numbers and then boom, he spots it.
This sequence of characters representing a signal, and it's just so strong, so weird. He circles it on the page and writes, wow.
I mean, can you blame him?
Yeah.
Talk about a moment, right? To think you might be looking at evidence of alien life.
Okay. But it wasn't just how strong the signal was, right?
No, you're right. It was this thing called narrowband. So imagine most radio signals are like static on a radio, spread out over a bunch of frequencies.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
The signal, it was super focused, like tuning into a crystal clear radio station. Boom, right there on one spot on the dial. And that narrowness, it usually points to something artificial, not a natural phenomenon, you know?
So instead of, say, a star exploding, it could be a deliberate transmission.
Exactly. And then it gets even wilder. The frequency this thing was on, it was 1420 megahertz. And guess what? That's the same as something called the hydrogen line.
Okay, it's time out for a quick science lesson. What's the hydrogen line and why should I care?
So hydrogen is like the most common element in the universe, and it emits radio waves at this specific frequency of 1420 megahertz.
Okay. But what does that have to do with aliens?
Well, some scientists think if an alien civilization wanted to send a signal across space, they'd use a frequency everyone would recognize, like a universal, hey, we're here, and the hydrogen line. Perfect candidate for that.
Whoa. So wow, signal hits this special frequency that aliens might use. Strong signal, super focused, all signs point to.
Maybe, maybe not. Here's a catch: we've never heard it again. Not once, despite all sorts of attempts.
Oh, come on. Did the aliens just decide to ghost us?
Well, before we go full-on alien conspiracy, we got to think about natural explanations, right? Could it be some cosmic event we've never seen before?
Yeah, maybe. Like a weird star burp or something.
Or maybe some random signal from Earth bouncing off space junk and tricking us. Scientists have tossed around a lot of ideas.
But none of them really nailed it, huh?
Nope. They explain some parts of the signal, but not everything. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where half the pieces are missing. That's why wow. Signal is still such a head-scratcher almost 50 years later.
A signal that looks like it could be from aliens, but just once. Then silence. I can see why this has kept people up at night.
And that's what we're going to dig into next. What are the chances it was aliens? And if so, what does that tell us?
Definitely a lot to unpack there. So, where were we? Oh yeah, trying to figure out if aliens were trying to phone home back in 77.
Well, it's easy to jump to that conclusion, isn't it? That, wow, signal really does fit some of the criteria for what we might think an alien message would look like. But hold on a sec. Even if we go down that road, there's another wrinkle.
Oh, don't tell me the aliens sent us a collect call and we missed it. What's the wrinkle?
Well, we're kind of assuming, right, that if aliens are out there, they'll communicate in a way that, well, that we can understand.
You're saying they might not speak English?
Yeah.
Or any language we know?
It's more than that. Like, what if their way of communicating is completely different from anything we've ever imagined? Like, our human brains and tech just aren't equipped to even grasp it.
So it could be a message, but we just don't get it. Like trying to read ancient Egyptian without, what was that stone? The Rosetta Stone?
Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine listening to a song, right? But it's written in some crazy musical notation you've never seen. You might see the notes, but no clue what the melody is, the rhythm, the feelings it's supposed to evoke.
That's trippy. So wow. Signal could be full of meaning, but we're totally missing the point. Okay, so we might be missing the message, even if it's right under our noses. But what about searching for more signals? Surely scientists haven't just been twiddling their thumbs for 50 years.
Oh no, there's been a ton of research, all thanks to the WOW signal. In fact, back in 2017, they used this huge telescope, the Green Bank telescope, to take another look at that same spot in the sky.
The same spot where the wow signal came from.
Yeah, anything interesting?
Well, they didn't find another wow. Sadly, no repeat performance. But that doesn't mean it was a waste of time. Not at all.
How so? If they didn't find what they were looking for.
By studying all the radio waves coming from that area, right? It helps scientists figure out what's just normal background noise in the universe.
I see. Like you need to know what normal sounds like before you can pick out something unusual.
Precisely. And the tech's getting better all the time. I mean, the telescopes we have today are light years ahead of that big ear thing from the 70s.
Right.
Who knows what we'll find with even better tools?
So the search goes on, but let's zoom out for a sec. I mean, yeah, the science is cool and all, but why should our listeners care about a weird radio signal from forever ago? You know, that's a really good question. Because it's bigger than just the science, isn't it? The wow signal. It makes us think about, well, about everything. About whether we're really alone in this giant universe.
It's a question that's been around forever.
Right.
But the wow signal, it made it real, like tangible somehow.
Totally. And even if we never solved the puzzle completely, it got people thinking, innovating, building better tools to search for answers. It even got people talking about what it would mean to actually meet another intelligent species out there. Imagine that.
It's crazy to think about, isn't it? Somewhere else on some other planet, maybe there are beings looking up and asking the same questions we are. And if we ever did make contact, what would we say? What would we want to tell them about ourselves? It really gets the wheels turning, right? I mean, are we the only ones in this whole universe? That's a pretty profound question. And Signal just brings it all into focus.
It sure does. I mean, it's a story that just grabs you, makes you wonder. And you know, even if we never quite figure out exactly what caused it, the wow signal, it did something really important. It pushed us to think differently about the whole search for ET.
To build better gadgets, to, brainstorm what it would mean to find out we're not alone.
Exactly. It's pretty wild to consider. And speaking of wild, imagine if we could send out our own message. What would we say to the universe? What would we want other civilizations to know about us?
That is a good question. What would represent humanity? Would it be our art, our music, our scientific discoveries, or something completely different?
Right. If we could create this kind of cosmic hello, what would we want it to say? It really makes you think about what makes us special, what truly matters to us as a species.
Yeah. And maybe, just maybe, that's the biggest lesson from the WOW signal.
It's not just about some weird radio signal from way back when.
It's about all the questions it makes us ask, about the sense of wonder it sparks.
The desire to explore the unknown, you know?
Who knows what other secrets are out there just waiting for us to find them?
And the best part, we're just getting started.
Well, folks, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the WOW signal, a story that continues to fascinate, and hopefully one that's left you a little bit more curious about the mysteries of the universe. Thanks for joining us.